Hello everyone, we are here again today with Ronald, founder of DreamXchange, and we're going to be starting a new series of different topics, but kind of similar to what we've been doing recently. So thank you so much for joining me, Ronald.
Pleasure.
And one of the ones we'd like to speak about is the difference between self-employment versus entrepreneurship, because that is quite a core theme for DreamXchange, basically is centered around that. And currently our country is sitting at over 34% unemployment. But over to you, Ronald, to just explain a bit about the difference between a job, self-employment and entrepreneurship.
Thank you. Great question, because for the last few years, everybody's really confused about one or the other. Self-employment is entrepreneurship, or it's either a job or entrepreneurship. And so when we look at unemployment figures, it's quite interesting to see that everybody just thinks you must either get people into jobs or entrepreneurship. And when we look at sub-Saharan Africa for the last 30, 40 years, their self-employment has been 80% of their economies, which is quite interesting, because what they're saying is what used to be called the gig economy, the self-employment economy, the contract economy, it was like subsistence work. It's not you either got a job or you're running a business. And so DreamXchange was founded on the fact that if you can't get a job, and you're not going to get in this country, because that's about 8 million unemployed people, looking for one job. And not everybody can start a business really that equally well. So if you look at Africa, people are saying, what can I do now? How can I start? What can I actually offer? What can I sew? What can I make? What can I buy? What can I bake? And that whole portion of self-employment is now taking up about 80% of sub-Saharan Africa's economic endeavor. And South Africa has always been, let's get everybody into jobs or into business and entrepreneurship. So the whole point is, if you get started with self-employment, starting something, offering something, selling something, over time you could get a really good job. So you're doing coding at home and you get some gigs overseas, or even locally, you could get a really good IT company saying, okay, I'll take you on. So you go from self-employment to a decent job. Or if your self-employment gig starts to expand, then you can start thinking about building a company. And that's a big difference. So our focus for DreamXchange has always been on self-economic empowerment, self-employment, self-economic prosperity for yourself. And that's what's going to actually get 8 million people working. It's not going to be jobs. And not everybody can start a business. It's just too many intricate things involved in that. So self-employment is going to be the way to go. It's shown even across in the more sophisticated countries, self-employment, and DreamXchange is really at the forefront of doing that.
So self-employment is not as high-end as entrepreneurship, owning your own business and having other people work for you, I think sometimes is under the sort of pyramid of entrepreneurship. It's like this big thing. And we've promoted this many times in DreamXchange. So start with something small, maybe a side hustle, selling something, upskilling yourself. And just like you said, start small. But do you really think that self-employment is going to be what's going to save this country or really help it to get out of this economic crisis?
Well, it will have to be. And so instead of looking at a job, trying to create more jobs, instead of looking at trying to get people into entrepreneurship, when they're not ready, start something small, start self-employing yourself and see where that takes you. And that's where it's going to be. It's going to get 8 million people working in the future.